In this video, I would like to cover a very quick project which gives you something to give out if you practice random acts of kindness. Now, random acts of kindness is pretty self-explanatory. That just means that throughout your day you might find an opportunity to do something on the spot that's just a little token of appreciation or something to make someone's day a little bit happier or brighter. But in this case, this means that we can make these little tokens or heartstrings. We can leave these, on our park bench or, I don't know, on the table in a cafe, anywhere where they can just kind of accidentally be found. And inside here is a little note that might say something like, have a nice day or something, whatever you want to write in there. Something that will make someone feel special in the moment. And, it's just a fun thing to do. And it's a good way, on the practical side, to use up some scraps you might have laying around. Now this is based on my Heartstrings pattern. You might have seen that before. I've got a link for that in the description for how to make the two hearts like this. The curlicue here will be new, so I'll make sure I go over that. But just remember, this uses my breakaway techniques, so everything is all with one length of yarn. There's absolutely no sewing. So this will be a very quick and efficient way to use up some scraps and brighten someone's day at the same time. For this project, I'm just using an 8-ply or double knit weight cotton and 4mm hook, or size G in US terms. All right, and I'm also going to be using again my breakaway techniques, and just to help you get your bearings, we're going to start with this top heart. We do this inside round first, and then we do the first half of the second round, and then we go and do the bottom heart in the curlicue. We finish up the other side of the bottom heart and the other side of round 2 and make a little loop. So, that's a lot to take in. So let's just break that down step by step. So to begin that first heart, we're going to make a floating slip stitch. That means we do yarn around, pinch, yarn around, pinch, yarn around, and do or pull through all 3 of those loops. And just remembering that these 2 loops here are the center ring of the heart. So we're going to work all our stitches in the center there, in the center of those 2 loops there. Okay. So we start with a chain, a US double crochet, three treble stitches, and again we're always working in that center ring, and we're going to be putting a lot of stitches in that center ring, so as we go it's a good idea to kind of scooch the stitches around to make sure everything's sort of lined up evenly. So what I mean by that is I've just done the 3 trebles, so just keep scooting things around to keep things nice and compressed where they're meant to be. Okay, so after the 3 trebles, we've got 4 double crochets. We do another treble, which is going to be kind of the bottom pointy bit of the heart. So that's our orientation there. Let's go back around the other side and do 4 more double crochets, 3 trebles, another double crochet, And you can see how things are getting quite jammed in there, so keep scooching things around. Finally, a chain stitch and a slip stitch in the middle there, and pull that kind of tight to give the heart a good shape. Okay, so that's round 1. Let's start round 2. That begins with a slip stitch, and in that first stitch there work 2 single crochets and 2 single crochets in each of the next 3 stitches. That's 2 in there, 2 in here, oops, and 2 in there. So 8 single crochets done. Okay, 1 single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. Okay, so we are now right at the bottom of the heart. It's time to go on and start the second heart. So let's do a chain stitch first, and let's work another floating slip stitch. So to review, yarn around, pinch, yarn around, pinch, yarn around, pull through everything, and there we've made our center floating ring just like before. Let's start this with a chain, a double crochet to the floating ring. This time we're doing 4 trebles, 3 double crochets, and here it's going to be slightly different from the written pattern because we're going to add that little curlicue, so things are going to be a little bit different. Here I'm going to start with a treble. Can see where we, oops, see where we are now. Okay, so to do the curlicue, start with 7 chain, and we're going to work our way back up the chain, working 2 single crochets in each chain, and I'm just going through that top loop there. It probably doesn't matter too much, but do be consistent. I do the same thing for each chain. So that was 2, 4, do 2 in this stitch, 6, 8, 10 in here, so that's 10 stitches, and in the last chain do 4 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That just helps it sit just a little bit better. You can see how it's already starting to curl up. That's a good sign. Now to finish off the curlicue, do a slip stitch around. So you see how there's a kind of a connection there. Just take the hook underneath, grab the yarn, bring it back and pull it through the loop, and pull that kind of tight, and that just kind of defines it a little bit better. Now we're ready to finish the other side of this small heart. We do a treble, three double crochets, four trebles, another double crochet, chain stitch, and slip stitch in the center ring. And again, pull it fairly tight to help define that heart. So there we are. There was the curlicue and the bottom heart. It's a bit awkward to show you with the hook right now. And that's where we are now. Now to jump back up and finish this top part, I'd like you to go underneath that connection and do a slip stitch there, just like we did with the curlicue. That just helps hold it in place. And now let's finish up the rest of this round. So look for where the single crochet was that we've already done. We want to go in there again and do another single crochet in there. And now one single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. It's just a mirror image of what we did on the other side. And now we're going to work single crochet increases. That means 2 single crochets in each of the next 4 stitches. So 2 in there, 2 in the next, and so on. They're almost finished. We just need to do 1 more chain and a slip stitch that's going to go over everything. Again, to help define that sort of dip that goes, and pull that fairly tight. And the very last thing we do is make our little loop that holds the note. I'm just doing 6 chains. Of course, you do whatever fits the note that you're going to do, and just go around the back, find something to slip stitch into to close the little loop up, and I'm ready to finish off. There we go. So how long did that take? Less than 5 minutes? I don't know. But you can see the advantage of doing my floating slip stitches. That's what enabled us to jump from one heart to the next without having to break the yarn. So it's probably, a good project to do if you're just starting with my method. Helps you get your head around some of the concepts. Okay. And if you want to give this a light little mist with some water and just tap it with a hot iron just to kind of, make it look a bit nicer, and finish off those ends, of course. And I just used, for the notes, I just used Post-it notes. Write whatever you want, roll that up and stick it in there. And you're just going to leave these around, wherever someone might accidentally stumble across them. They can read the little note and take these home and be reminded of the special little thing you've done for them. And some people also write down to share their experience on the Random Acts of Crochet Kindness website. So if you want to include the link to that in your note, then that's how you'll know that somebody found your message, and you can, actually see how they experience what you did for them. And it's just a neat thing to do. All right, thanks for watching, and see you again soon.